You spend hours scrolling through success stories, watching others display their wealth, their freedom, their perfect lives. And deep down, you feel that familiar ache, that quiet voice whispering that you deserve more, that you're capable of more, but somehow you remain trapped in the same patterns, the same limitations, the same financial struggles that follow you month after month. I know this feeling because I have seen it in the eyes of thousands who came seeking wisdom. I am Solomon, once the richest man who ever walked this earth, and I want you to understand something crucial. The poverty you experience is not about the money in your account. It is about the poverty of your inner kingdom. Most people chase gold with the desperation of the blind, not understanding that wealth is merely the shadow of something far more powerful. When God offered me anything I desired, I could have asked for infinite riches, for armies, for power over nations. Instead, I asked for wisdom, and that single choice transformed me from a young prince into the wealthiest king in history. Today, I will reveal to you the 7 secret commandments that built my empire. Not the shallow tricks you find everywhere, not the empty promises of quick riches, but the ancient laws that govern true prosperity. These are not mere strategies. They are the keys to becoming a different person entirely. The kind of person who attracts wealth naturally, who builds lasting abundance, who transforms from someone who chases money into someone money chases. This is your moment of decision. You can continue living as you have, hoping that somehow things will change by themselves, or you can choose to become the architect of your own prosperity. The 7 commandments I am about to share have the power to completely transform not just your bank account, but your entire existence. If you are ready to stop being a spectator of wealth and become its master, if you are ready to build an inner kingdom that naturally creates outer abundance, then subscribe now and let this ancient wisdom flow into your life. Because what you are about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about becoming truly rich. Number 1. Introduction to Solomon's wisdom. You wake up every morning and look at your reflection, but what you see is not the king you were meant to become. You see someone who has been taught to chase paper, to bow before numbers on a screen, to measure worth by the weight of gold in your pocket. This is the great deception of our time. You have been blinded by the very thing you seek. I am Solomon, and I have watched empires rise and fall, witnessed the birth and death of 1,000 dreams of prosperity. What I discovered in my reign as the wealthiest man who ever lived will shatter every belief you hold about money, about success, about what it truly means to be rich. The poverty that plagues you is not in your bank account. It lives in your spirit. Most people suffer from a spiritual blindness, so profound they cannot distinguish between treasure and trash. They see gold and think they see wealth. They see numbers and believe they understand abundance. But gold is merely the shadow of something infinitely more valuable. It is the echo of true riches, not the source. When God appeared to me in a dream and offered me anything my heart desired, I could have asked for mountains of silver, for storehouses bursting with precious stones, for dominions that stretched beyond the horizon. Instead, I asked for wisdom. In that single request, I revealed the secret that would make me richer than any man before or since. Wisdom is the mother of wealth. Gold without understanding is lost as quickly as it is found. Picture a blind man searching for light. He may stumble upon a torch, but without sight, he cannot kindle it. He may find oil, but without knowledge, he cannot fuel the flame. This is the condition of those who seek wealth without first seeking wisdom. They gather coins while remaining spiritually bankrupt. I once observed 2 merchants in my court. Both possessed equal amounts of gold. The first flaunted his wealth, built monuments to his success, spoke loudly of his riches to anyone who would listen. The second remained silent, invested wisely, and multiplied his treasure in secret. Within 7 years, the first merchant was reduced to begging, while the second had become the richest man in the kingdom after myself. The difference was not in their gold, but in their wisdom. Today, I will reveal to you 7 commandments that built my empire. These are not the shallow strategies peddled by those who have never held true wealth. These are ancient laws, spiritual principles that govern the flow of abundance in this world. They are the difference between those who chase money and those who attract it naturally. The 7th commandment contains a secret so powerful, so transformative, that kings have guarded it for millennia. It is the foundation upon which all lasting wealth is built, the cornerstone of every empire that has endured through the ages. Masters of commerce, emperors of trade, and sages of prosperity have used this principle to build fortunes that outlasted their very lives. But here is what you must understand before we begin this journey. You are not here to learn tricks. You are here to become transformed. The man who enters this teaching and the man who emerges will be fundamentally different. One chases wealth, the other creates it. One begs for prosperity, the other commands it. One serves money, the other is served by it. The spiritual blindness that has kept you poor is about to be healed. The 7 commandments will not just fill your coffers, they will remake your soul. They will transform you from a subject of scarcity into a king of abundance. Your entire relationship with money, with success, with your own potential is about to change forever. Number 2, Commandment 1, seek wisdom before gold. You spend your days dreaming of the fortune you will build, the success you will achieve, the wealth you will accumulate. But in all your planning and scheming, you have forgotten the most crucial element. You are trying to fill a broken vessel. You are attempting to build a mansion on sand. Without wisdom, every dollar you earn becomes a seed of future poverty. The first commandment is the foundation of all prosperity, the root from which every tree of abundance grows. Seek wisdom before gold. This is not merely advice. It is a spiritual law as unchangeable as gravity itself. Those who violate this law will find their wealth slipping through their fingers like water through a sieve. Those who honor it will discover that gold flows to them as naturally as rivers flow to the sea. When I knelt before the altar of God and was offered anything my heart desired, the entire kingdom held its breath. They expected me to ask for armies, for endless riches, for power over nations. Instead, I spoke these words that would change the course of history. Give your servant a discerning heart. In that moment, I chose wisdom over wealth, and in choosing wisdom, I inherited wealth beyond measure. Imagine a master craftsman and a common laborer, both given the same pile of raw materials. The laborer sees only wood and stone and metal. He builds something crude and temporary, something that will crumble with the first storm. But the craftsman sees possibilities. He understands the nature of each material, knows how they work together, recognizes their hidden potential. From the same resources, he creates a masterpiece that will endure for generations. This is the difference between the wise and the foolish in matters of money. The fool sees only numbers, only the immediate gratification of spending, only the surface of financial transactions. But the wise man sees the deeper currents, understands the principles that govern wealth, recognizes opportunities that remain invisible to others. I have witnessed men earn millions only to die in poverty because they lacked the wisdom to preserve what they had gained. I have seen others start with nothing but knowledge and build empires that lasted centuries. The difference was never in their circumstances, never in their luck, never in their connections. The difference was in their relationship with wisdom. Wisdom is not mere intelligence. Intelligence may help you earn money, but wisdom teaches you how to keep it, how to multiply it, how to make it serve a purpose greater than itself. Intelligence is knowing how to make a profit. Wisdom is understanding that profit without purpose becomes poison. The wealthy man who builds his fortune on wisdom creates something that cannot be taken from him. Market crashes may diminish his portfolio, but they cannot touch his understanding. Economic downturns may affect his investments, but they cannot steal his insight. He remains wealthy in his mind, And from that inner wealth, outer wealth flows again. But the man who chases gold without first gaining wisdom is like a ship without an anchor in a storm. He may sail swiftly when the winds are favorable, but when the tempest comes, he has nothing to hold him steady. His wealth becomes his master instead of his servant, and he finds himself enslaved by the very thing he sought to possess. True wisdom begins with the recognition that you know nothing. The moment you think you have mastered money, money will humble you. The moment you believe you understand wealth, wealth will teach you otherwise. Wisdom is a lifetime pursuit, a daily discipline, a constant hunger for deeper understanding. Start each day not by checking your account balance, but by feeding your mind with knowledge that will make that balance grow. Read the words of those who have built lasting wealth. Study the principles that govern prosperity. Learn from those who have walked the path before you. Make wisdom your first investment, and every other investment will multiply. The man who seeks gold first and wisdom second will spend his life poor, no matter how much money passes through his hands. But the man who seeks wisdom first will find that gold seeks him. Number 3. Commandment 2. Silence is the armor of the prosperous. You live in a world that celebrates noise, that rewards the loudest voice, that mistakes volume for value. Every social media post screams for attention. Every conversation becomes a competition of who can speak the most, reveal the most, impress the most. But in this symphony of sound, you have forgotten the power of silence. You have abandoned the armor that protects true wealth. The second commandment cuts against everything modern culture teaches about success. Silence is the armor of the prosperous. While fools broadcast their plans to the world, the wise build their empires in secret. While the foolish seek applause for their dreams, the wise seek results from their actions. I learned this truth early in my reign. A king's words carry power, but a king's silence carries even greater power. When you speak, you reveal your hand. When you remain silent, your enemies cannot predict your moves, your competitors cannot steal your strategies, and your wealth grows protected from the envy and interference of others. Think of the mightiest river you have ever seen. On its surface, it may appear calm, almost still. But beneath that serene exterior flows a current so powerful it can move mountains, carve canyons, change the very face of the earth. This is the nature of true prosperity. It works in silence, moves without announcement, transforms everything in its path without fanfare. I once knew a merchant who came to court speaking loudly of his grand plans to corner the spice trade. He revealed his routes, his suppliers, his strategies to anyone who would listen. He sought partners by broadcasting his intentions throughout the kingdom. Within a year, his competitors had stolen his contacts, undercut his prices, and destroyed his business. His own words became the weapons used against him. Another merchant in my court never spoke of his business to anyone. He built relationships quietly, secured trade routes discreetly, established his network without fanfare. While others talked, he acted. While others dreamed aloud, he built in silence. In 5 years, he controlled more trade than the loudest merchant ever imagined possible. Silence is not about secrecy for its own sake. It is about protection, about strategy, about understanding that every word you speak can either serve your prosperity or undermine it. In a world where everyone is competing for the same opportunities, the man who keeps his plans to himself has already gained an advantage over those who announce theirs to the world. Your dreams are precious seeds that must be planted in the right soil and protected as they grow. When you broadcast your plans before they are established, you invite criticism that can kill your confidence, doubt that can weaken your resolve, and competition that can steal your opportunities before you have a chance to seize them. Even a fool appears wise when he keeps silent. How much more powerful is the man who actually possesses wisdom, but chooses to let his results speak louder than his words? The market does not reward those who talk about wealth. It rewards those who create it. Success does not flow to those who announce their intentions. It flows to those who execute their plans. But silence is more than just a strategy for protecting your wealth. It is a spiritual discipline that connects you to deeper sources of wisdom and insight. In the quiet moments, when you stop talking and start listening, you begin to hear the subtle whispers of opportunity that others miss. You notice patterns that escape the attention of those too busy speaking to observe. The truly prosperous understand that their greatest achievements will speak for themselves. They do not need to announce their success, because their success announces itself. They do not need to prove their wealth, because their wealth proves itself. They build their temples without spotlights, construct their empires without press releases, create their legacies without fanfare. Make silence your ally in the pursuit of prosperity. Speak less about what you plan to do and more about what you have already accomplished. Let your results be your reputation. Let your wealth be your witness. Number 4, Commandment 3, honor time more than gold. Every morning you wake up and immediately begin surrendering your most valuable possession without even realizing it. You check your phone, scroll through meaningless content, lose yourself in distractions that steal hours from your day. While you obsess over every dollar in your account, you carelessly waste the one resource that, once spent, can never be recovered. You honor gold while dishonoring time, and this reversal has kept you poor. The third commandment strikes at the heart of why most people remain trapped in cycles of financial struggle. Honor time more than gold. Time is the raw material from which all wealth is forged. It is the canvas upon which every empire is painted. It is the foundation upon which every fortune is built. Yet most people treat it as if it were infinite, as if tomorrow were guaranteed, as if this moment did not matter. Gold can be earned, lost, and earned again. Opportunities can be missed and found anew. Knowledge can be forgotten and relearned. But time, once past, becomes history. The hour you waste today will never return. The day you squander this week is gone forever. The year you spend in lazy pursuits is a year stolen from your destiny. I understood this truth deeply during my reign. While my subjects slept late, I rose with the dawn. While they wandered aimlessly through their days, I structured every hour with purpose. While they waited for the right moment to act, I acted and created the right moments. This mastery over time became the secret engine of my unprecedented wealth. Consider 2 farmers given identical plots of land and the same seeds to plant. The first farmer plants haphazardly, whenever he feels like it, waters his crops when he remembers, harvests when it is convenient. The second farmer plants according to the seasons, tends his crops daily, waters them consistently, harvests at the perfect moment. Both have the same resources, but only one will reap abundance. The difference is not in what they possess, but in how they use the time they have been given. Every successful person I have ever known, every wealthy individual who has crossed my path, every prosperous merchant in my kingdom shared one common trait. They treated time as their most sacred resource. They understood that time properly invested multiplies into wealth, but time carelessly spent multiplies into regret. The poor man believes he has all the time in the world and no money to invest. The rich man knows he has limited time and makes every moment count. The poor man waits for perfect conditions before he acts. The rich man creates conditions through action. The poor man kills time. The rich man invests time. You cannot purchase additional hours for your day, but you can purchase additional value from the hours you have. You cannot buy back yesterday, but you can make today more profitable than yesterday ever was. You cannot control how much time you have been given, but you can control how you use the time that remains. Time is the great equalizer. The poorest man and the richest man both receive exactly 24 hours each day. What separates them is not the time they have, but the choices they make with that time. One builds with his hours, the other burns them. One plants seeds for future harvests, the other plants nothing and wonders why his fields remain barren. Most people live as if they were immortal, postponing their most important work until tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. They plan to start their business someday. They intend to develop their skills eventually. They will pursue their dreams when the time is right. But someday never comes, eventually never arrives, and the right time never appears for those who refuse to make today the right time. The discipline of honoring time begins with the recognition that every moment is a choice. Every minute you spend consuming mindless entertainment is a minute not spent building your empire. Every hour you spend complaining about your circumstances is an hour not spent changing them. Every day you spend waiting for permission is a day not spent creating your own authority. Start tomorrow by treating time as the precious resource it truly is. Schedule your hours as carefully as you budget your dollars. Invest your minutes as thoughtfully as you invest your savings. Protect your time as fiercely as you protect your property. Make every moment serve your greater purpose. The man who honors time more than gold will find that time delivers gold to him in abundance. Number 5. Commandment 4. Generosity activates abundance. You have been taught that wealth is about accumulation, about holding tightly to everything you earn, about building walls around your resources to protect them from others. This scarcity mindset has become your prison. You grip your money so tightly that you strangle the very flow that could bring you more. You have forgotten the ancient law that governs all abundance. What you release returns to you multiplied. The 4th commandment reveals a truth that seems to contradict all human logic yet operates with mathematical precision throughout the universe. Generosity activates abundance. The river that gives freely of its waters never runs dry because it remains connected to an eternal source. The tree that gives freely of its fruit grows stronger and produces more because giving is the natural expression of life itself. Most people operate from fear when it comes to money. They fear there is not enough, so they hoard what little they have. They fear others will take advantage of them, so they become stingy and suspicious. They fear that giving means losing, so they turn their hearts to stone and their hands to fists. But this fear creates the very scarcity they seek to avoid. I learned this principle not through calculation, but through revelation. When God blessed me with wisdom, He also opened my eyes to see the invisible laws that govern wealth and poverty. I discovered that money is like water. It must flow to remain clean and life-giving. When it stagnates, it becomes stagnant. When it moves freely, it purifies everything it touches. Imagine a garden with 2 sections divided by a wall. On one side, water flows freely, nourishing every plant, creating life and beauty wherever it goes. On the other side, water sits in stagnant pools, breeding disease and death. This is the difference between generosity and greed, between the abundance mindset and the scarcity mindset, between those who give and those who hoard. During my reign, I witnessed a fascinating phenomenon. The merchants who gave freely to the poor, who supported the temple, who helped their competitors in times of need, consistently prospered beyond their generous rivals. Their businesses grew, their opportunities multiplied, their wealth increased not in spite of their generosity, but because of it. There was a wealthy merchant who refused to give even a single coin to charity. He calculated every transaction to maximize his profit, squeezed every deal for personal advantage, and kept every resource for himself. Despite his shrewd business practices, his wealth slowly diminished. Customers began to avoid him, partners refused to work with him, and opportunities dried up around him like wells in a drought. Another merchant, with far fewer resources, made generosity a cornerstone of his business philosophy. He gave freely to those in need, supported worthy causes, and shared his knowledge with anyone who asked. His reputation for generosity preceded him into every negotiation, opened doors that money alone could never open, and created goodwill that translated into incredible business opportunities. But generosity is not about giving blindly or foolishly. It is about giving with wisdom, with discernment, with understanding of how the law of abundance operates. When I built the temple for the Lord, I gave not out of obligation but out of gratitude. I understood that my wealth was not truly mine to hoard but mine to steward, mine to multiply, mine to use for purposes greater than my own comfort. True generosity flows from abundance, not from scarcity. You cannot give what you do not have, and you cannot activate abundance if you operate from a place of lack. The key is to start where you are, with what you have, no matter how small it may seem. Give of your time when you cannot give money. Give of your knowledge when you have no material resources. Give of your encouragement when you have nothing else to offer. The universe operates on the principle of circulation. What goes out must come back, often multiplied and transformed. But this law only works when you give with the right heart, with genuine care for the recipient, with no expectation of direct return from the person to whom you give. Start practicing generosity not as a strategy for getting more, but as an expression of your understanding that abundance is your natural state. Give because you recognize that you are already blessed. Share because you know that sharing multiplies blessing. Support others because you understand that lifting others lifts you. When you shift from hoarding to giving, from taking to contributing, from scarcity to abundance, you align yourself with the natural flow of wealth in the universe. You become a channel through which prosperity flows rather than a dam that blocks it. Generosity is not the enemy of wealth. It is the activator of wealth. Number 6, Commandment 5, be careful with the advice you receive. You are drowning in a sea of opinions, suffocating under an avalanche of advice from people who have never achieved what you desire to achieve. Every day, voices surround you offering guidance about money, success, and prosperity. But most of these voices belong to people whose own lives are testimonies of failure, whose bank accounts contradict their confident words, whose results reveal the bankruptcy of their counsel. The 5th commandment could save you years of wasted effort and thousands of dollars in lost opportunities. Be careful with the advice you receive. Not all counsel is created equal. Not all advisors are worthy of your attention. Not all guidance leads to good destinations. The quality of advice you follow will determine the quality of life you live. Your mind is like a garden, and every piece of advice you accept is like a seed planted in that soil. Good counsel produces good fruit that nourishes your prosperity. Bad counsel produces poison that destroys your potential. Most people allow anyone and everyone to plant seeds in their mental garden, then wonder why their harvest is so bitter. I have observed this truth throughout my reign and beyond. The wisest men surround themselves with counselors who have walked the path they wish to walk. They seek advice from those whose results speak louder than their words. They learn from people whose lives demonstrate the principles they teach. But fools take counsel from other fools and then wonder why their foolishness multiplies. Picture 2 men seeking to cross a dangerous desert. The first asks directions from every person he meets along the way, gathering advice from merchants who have never made the journey, from travelers who only heard stories about the desert, from locals who have never ventured beyond their village. He collects conflicting directions, contradictory warnings, and confusing guidance. When he enters the desert, he becomes lost within hours. The second man seeks out a guide who has crossed that desert dozens of times, who knows every water source, every dangerous passage, every safe place to rest. He pays a premium for this guide's knowledge, but he reaches his destination safely and swiftly. The difference was not in their courage or their resources, but in the quality of counsel they chose to follow. In my court, I witnessed countless individuals destroy their prosperity by following the advice of well-meaning but ignorant friends and family members. They took business counsel from relatives who had never built businesses. They accepted investment advice from coworkers who lived paycheck to paycheck. They followed financial strategies recommended by people whose own finances were in shambles. The poor man gives advice freely because he values it cheaply. The wealthy man gives advice carefully because he knows its worth. The unsuccessful person speaks with confidence about success because he has nothing to lose by being wrong. The successful person speaks with humility about success because he understands how easily it can be lost. Before you accept anyone's counsel about prosperity, examine their fruit. Look at their results, not their rhetoric. Study their outcomes, not their opinions. Judge their advice by their achievements, not by how convincing they sound or how confident they appear. A beggar cannot teach you how to be wealthy, no matter how eloquently he speaks about money. But be equally cautious of those who offer counsel with hidden motives. Some advisors profit from your failure. Some counselors benefit when you remain confused. Some guides lead you astray intentionally because your success threatens their position. Learn to discern not just the competence of your advisors, but their character. The greatest danger lies not in obviously bad advice, but in advice that sounds reasonable but comes from the wrong source. Many people mean well but lack the experience to guide you effectively. Their intentions may be pure, but their ignorance can be costly. Good intentions cannot substitute for good results. Seek mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve. Find advisors whose lives you would want to emulate. Look for counselors whose character you admire and whose results you respect. Pay for quality advice if necessary, because cheap counsel often becomes expensive mistakes. Learn to filter advice through the test of results. Ask yourself, has this person achieved what they are advising me to achieve? Do their results validate their recommendations? Are they speaking from experience or from theory? Would I want to trade places with this advisor? Protect your mind as carefully as you protect your money. Guard your mental garden as fiercely as you guard your physical possessions. Choose your counselors as wisely as you choose your investments. The man who follows wise counsel becomes wise. The man who follows foolish counsel becomes foolish. Number 7. Commandment 6. Discipline is the currency of kings. You know what you should do. The knowledge sits in your mind like treasure in a vault, but you cannot seem to access it when you need it most. You understand the principles of success. You have studied the habits of the wealthy. You have learned the strategies that build empires. Yet you remain trapped in patterns of behavior that sabotage your own prosperity. Knowledge without discipline is like seed without soil, potential without power. The 6th commandment reveals why most people remain poor despite having access to all the information they need to become wealthy. Discipline is the currency of kings. While common men trade in hopes and wishes, kings trade in consistent action. While the masses wait for motivation, rulers create momentum through disciplined behavior. Discipline is not punishment. It is not restriction. It is not deprivation. Discipline is freedom in its highest form, the ability to choose long-term reward over short-term pleasure, future prosperity over present gratification, lasting fulfillment over momentary satisfaction. The disciplined man is not controlled by his circumstances. He controls his circumstances through his choices. Every morning you stand at a crossroads. One path leads toward your dreams, the other toward distraction. One choice builds your empire, the other erodes it. One decision strengthens your character, the other weakens it. Discipline is simply the consistent choice of the path that leads where you actually want to go rather than where your immediate impulses want to take you. I have watched kingdoms rise and fall, and in every case, the difference between enduring success and temporary achievement was discipline. The kings who built lasting dynasties were not necessarily the most intelligent or the most talented. They were the most consistent. They understood that kingdoms are built one decision at a time, one day at a time, one disciplined choice at a time. Consider the difference between two craftsmen given the task of creating a masterpiece. Both possess equal skill, equal tools, equal raw materials. But the first craftsman works only when he feels inspired, only when conditions are perfect, only when motivation strikes him. He creates sporadically, abandons projects when they become difficult, starts new works before finishing old ones. The second craftsman works every day, whether he feels like it or not. He maintains consistent hours, follows proven processes, pushes through difficulties rather than avoiding them. He may not always feel motivated, but he always acts disciplined. Over time, his consistent effort produces masterpieces, while the first craftsman produces only unfinished fragments. The undisciplined person lives at the mercy of his moods. When he feels energetic, he works hard. When he feels lazy, he accomplishes nothing. When he feels optimistic, he makes plans. When he feels discouraged, he abandons them. His life becomes a series of starts and stops, advances and retreats, progress and backsliding. But the disciplined person has learned to separate action from emotion. He does what needs to be done regardless of how he feels about doing it. He works when he is tired, saves when he wants to spend, studies when he would rather play, invests when he could consume. His feelings may fluctuate, but his behavior remains constant. This is why discipline is the currency of kings. Kings cannot afford to make decisions based on how they feel in the moment. They must make decisions based on what will serve their kingdom in the long term. They must act not according to their moods, but according to their principles. They must govern their own behavior before they can govern anything else. Discipline begins with small choices that seem insignificant but accumulate into life-changing power. The decision to wake up at the same time every day. The choice to spend an hour learning instead of an hour scrolling. The commitment to save a portion of every dollar earned. The practice of keeping every promise made to yourself. Most people make grand resolutions but fail to keep simple commitments. They promise themselves they will become millionaires but cannot discipline themselves to save $10. They declare they will build empires but cannot maintain consistent daily routines. They dream of extraordinary results while living ordinary, undisciplined lives. True discipline is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is not about never failing. It is about always returning to the path after you have strayed. It is not about superhuman willpower. It is about creating systems and routines that make success inevitable rather than accidental. Start building your discipline with one small, consistent action. Choose something simple that moves you toward your goals and commit to doing it every single day, regardless of circumstances, regardless of feelings, regardless of obstacles. As this small discipline becomes automatic, add another, then another. The man who masters himself can master anything. The man who cannot govern his own behavior cannot govern wealth, cannot govern success, cannot govern his own destiny. Number 8, Commandment 7. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. You have built your entire understanding of success on the foundation of your own strength, your own intelligence, your own effort. You have made yourself the center of your universe, the source of your provision, the architect of your destiny. But this pride has become your prison, this self-reliance has become your limitation, this independence has become your poverty. There is a power greater than yourself, and until you acknowledge it, you will remain smaller than you were created to be. The seventh and most powerful commandment strikes at the very core of human existence. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. This is not fear as terror, but fear as reverence, awe, and deep respect for the source of all life, all wisdom, all prosperity. It is the recognition that you are not the creator of your own success, but the steward of gifts that have been entrusted to you. Most people approach wealth and success as if they were self-made, as if their talents were self-created, as if their opportunities were self-generated. They take credit for their victories and blame circumstances for their defeats. They worship at the altar of their own achievements and wonder why their success feels empty, why their wealth brings no peace, why their accomplishments satisfy only temporarily. True prosperity begins with the understanding that you are not the source of your own blessing. Your mind, your talents, your opportunities, even your next breath are gifts from a power infinitely greater than yourself. When you acknowledge this truth, you begin to operate from humility rather than pride, from gratitude rather than entitlement, from stewardship rather than ownership. I learned this truth in the most profound way possible. When I was young and newly crowned, God appeared to me in a dream and offered me anything I desired. In that moment, I could have asked for anything: riches beyond measure, power over nations, victory over enemies. But something within me recognized that I was in the presence of ultimate wisdom, ultimate power, ultimate love. My request for wisdom was born not from strategy, but from reverence. That single act of recognizing my need for divine wisdom transformed not just my reign, but my understanding of what true wealth means. I realized that every resource I controlled was held in trust, every decision I made had eternal consequences, every choice rippled through generations. My wealth became not a monument to my own greatness, but a tool for serving purposes greater than myself. Picture a river that forgets it flows from a mountain spring. It begins to believe that its waters originate from itself, that its current is self-generated, that its power is self-created. As soon as it disconnects from its source, it begins to dry up. Its waters become stagnant, its life-giving power diminishes, its very existence is threatened. This is what happens when human beings forget their connection to divine source. They may achieve temporary success through their own efforts, but that success lacks the sustainability that comes from alignment with eternal principles. They may accumulate wealth through their own cleverness, but that wealth cannot satisfy the deeper longings of their souls. The fear of God transforms how you view every aspect of prosperity. Your talents become gifts to develop rather than possessions to hoard. Your opportunities become responsibilities to steward rather than prizes to consume. Your wealth becomes a tool for service rather than a trophy for display. Your success becomes a platform for impact rather than a pedestal for ego. When you operate with genuine reverence for divine wisdom, several transformations occur simultaneously. Your decisions begin to align with principles that transcend your immediate circumstances. Your priorities shift from what serves you to what serves the greater good. Your definition of success expands beyond personal accumulation to include positive impact on others. This reverence also brings a peace that worldly success cannot provide. When you know that your ultimate security rests not in your own abilities but in your relationship with eternal wisdom, you can take bold risks without being reckless, pursue ambitious goals without being anxious, accumulate wealth without becoming attached to it. The fear of God also provides the foundation for all other virtues necessary for lasting prosperity. It produces the humility that keeps you teachable, the integrity that builds trust, the generosity that activates abundance, the discipline that creates consistency, the wisdom that guides decision-making. Many people resist this truth because they believe it diminishes their own importance or limits their potential. But the opposite is true. When you align yourself with divine wisdom, you tap into resources infinitely greater than your own. When you submit to eternal principles, you access power that transcends your natural limitations. When you fear God, you need fear nothing else. Begin each day with acknowledgement that your life, your opportunities, and your potential are gifts. End each day with gratitude for the privilege of stewarding these gifts. Make your decisions not just based on what serves your immediate interests, but on what honors the source of your blessings. The man who fears God lacks nothing else to fear. The man who reverences divine wisdom inherits wisdom beyond his natural capacity. Number 9. Practical application of the commandments. You now possess the 7 commandments that built my empire and can build yours. But knowledge without application is like seed without planting, potential without activation, wisdom without works. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in information, but in implementation. The question is not whether you understand these principles, but whether you will live them. Most people collect wisdom like treasures in a vault, admiring their knowledge but never investing it in the marketplace of daily life. They become experts in theory but remain amateurs in practice. They know what successful people do, but continue doing what unsuccessful people do. They understand the path to prosperity, but refuse to take the first step on that path. The transformation you seek will not happen through understanding alone. It will happen through the daily, disciplined application of these eternal principles to the practical realities of your financial life. Each commandment must move from your mind to your actions, from your thoughts to your habits, from your beliefs to your behaviors. Start with the first commandment: seek wisdom before gold. This means making a fundamental shift in your daily priorities. Before you check your investment accounts, check your knowledge accounts. Before you count your money, invest in your mind. Before you pursue opportunities, pursue understanding. Make learning your first business, education your primary investment. Dedicate the first hour of each day to feeding your mind with wisdom. Read books written by those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Study the principles that govern wealth and prosperity. Listen to the counsel of mentors whose results validate their words. Make wisdom your daily bread, understanding your constant companion. Then implement the second commandment: make silence your armor. Stop announcing your plans to everyone who will listen. Stop seeking validation for dreams that should be validated by results. Stop broadcasting your intentions and start demonstrating your achievements. Let your work speak louder than your words, your results more convincingly than your promises. Create a sacred space of silence around your most important goals. Share your dreams only with those who have the wisdom to nurture them and the power to help you achieve them. Protect your plans from the opinions of those who have never executed similar plans. Build your empire in quiet confidence rather than loud proclamation. Practice the third commandment by treating time as your most precious resource. Structure your days as carefully as you budget your dollars. Eliminate activities that consume time without producing results. Say no to opportunities that distract from your primary objectives. Make every hour serve your larger purpose. Begin each morning with a clear plan for how you will invest the gift of time you have been given that day. End each evening by evaluating whether you used that time in ways that moved you closer to your goals or further from them. Time cannot be saved or borrowed or stolen, but it can be invested wisely or wasted foolishly. Activate the fourth commandment through strategic generosity. Find ways to give that align with your values and support causes you believe in, but give with wisdom, not just emotion. Support people and organizations that multiply your impact rather than simply consuming your resources. Make generosity a business strategy, not just a charitable impulse. Start small if necessary, but start today. Give of your time if you cannot give money. Share your knowledge if you lack material resources. Offer your skills if you have no cash to spare. The amount matters less than the heart behind the giving and the consistency of the practice. Apply the fifth commandment by carefully curating your sources of advice. Audit your current advisors and mentors. Are they people whose lives you would want to emulate? Do their results validate their recommendations? Would you trade places with them? If not, find new sources of counsel. Seek out mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve. Invest in coaching from people whose track record demonstrates their competence. Join communities of individuals who are building what you want to build. Surround yourself with voices that speak from experience rather than theory. Practice the sixth commandment by choosing one small daily discipline and committing to it completely. This might be waking up at a specific time, exercising for a specific duration, saving a specific amount, or studying for a specific period. The key is consistency, not intensity. Build the muscle of discipline through regular use rather than sporadic bursts of effort. As this first discipline becomes automatic, add another, then another. Over time, these small consistencies will compound into extraordinary results. Discipline is like compound interest. It seems insignificant at first, but becomes incredibly powerful over time. Finally, live the seventh commandment by beginning and ending each day with acknowledgement of your dependence on divine wisdom. Make your major decisions not just based on financial calculations, but on eternal principles. Ask not just what will make you money, but what will make you a person worthy of wealth. The 7 commandments are not merely strategies for success. They are a blueprint for transformation. They will change not just your bank account, but your character. They will alter not just your circumstances, but your soul. Your prosperity is not a matter of chance, but of choice. You now know what to choose. You stand now at the threshold of a different existence. The 7 commandments are no longer mere words floating in your consciousness. They have become living principles waiting to reshape the very fabric of your reality. But understand this. Knowledge received is not transformation achieved. The seed planted is not the harvest reaped. Picture the ancient master craftsman who has just handed you the most precious tools of his trade. The hammer that built temples, the chisel that carved masterpieces, the measuring rod that ensured perfect proportions. These tools sit before you, gleaming with potential, heavy with possibility. Yet they remain powerless until your hands lift them, until your will directs them, until your daily choices breathe life into their purpose. Right now, in this very moment, you are no longer the person who began this journey. Something fundamental has shifted in your understanding of what it means to truly prosper. You have glimpsed the invisible laws that govern abundance, touched the eternal principles that separate kings from subjects, tasted the wisdom that transforms ordinary men into masters of their destiny. The 7 commandments are now part of your inner architecture. They will whisper to you in moments of decision, guide you when paths diverge, strengthen you when challenges arise. Each morning that dawns offers you the sacred opportunity to live these truths more deeply, to embody these principles more completely. If you feel the stirring of transformation within you, if these ancient secrets have awakened something that was always meant to be awakened, then you understand that this is not an ending but a beginning. Subscribe to continue walking this path of profound inner wealth, where every teaching builds upon the last, where every revelation opens doors to greater revelations. The man who has received wisdom never stops receiving. The soul that has tasted true prosperity never stops expanding.